Hey guys, welcome to my second ever YouTube video. Last night I put out my first video and I didn't know how it was gonna go. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it. I didn't even know if I knew what I was talking about or what I was going to talk about in the video. But towards the end of the video, I actually realized that I love to talk about what I love to do. And I feel like I have a lot of good information and I kind of just want to share that with you guys. I learned everything through YouTube videos and Instagram. So I kind of just want to share my knowledge with you guys and help you become more successful resellers. So I do hope to put out more videos in the future and I hope it helps you guys out in some kind of way. So today I kind of just want to jump right into it. I want to talk about quality sourcing when it comes to selling used shoes. In my opinion, sourcing quality shoes is probably the most important thing that you are going to do in order to become a successful shoe reseller. I would say that's about 75% of being able to kind of turn your inventory. 75% is sourcing a quality shoe. The other 25% is, good pictures, a good description, pricing accordingly to comps and all of that. But the most important thing is sourcing the shoe itself. And so, we want to source shoes that that are quality brands, right? We want to source shoes that are $10 or under for used shoes. We want to source shoes that are in great condition, that have no rips, no tears, they have great tread left, all of that. If you're going out and you're buying shoes just for the sake of buying shoes because they're super cheap, maybe you go to Dollar Sundays and you're like, oh, they're only $1. Like I'll sell them for, $15 or something, make my money back plus a little bit more. That's fine. That works in some cases. But for me, I just like sourcing quality shoes so that we're turning that inventory within 90 days. Sometimes, hopefully sooner, hopefully within 30 days, but 90 days max. If you're sourcing shoes just because they're cheap or just because you get them from friends or family that are free and they're not quality, they're in poor condition, they're really run down something, you are now going to turn into a shoe hoarder and storage business. And that's not what we're in the business of doing, right? I'm sure you've heard it before. We are in the business of moving shoes and selling shoes. We are not in the business of storing. Granted, if you had like unlimited storage space, you could do whatever you want, right? Like you could buy everything in the world, or you could buy, you could go and buy out the outlet bins, right? And just hope that all that stuff sells. But that's not what we're doing here, right? We want to move our inventory as quickly as possible. And in order to do that, we need to be sourcing quality shoes that people want, that are still in good condition, that, are quality brands that people, like I said, that people want. So I'm kind of just going to jump right into it. And I kind of want to take you guys like through the experience, right? Like I want to make this video as if you've never sold a pair of shoes before. So we walk into the thrift store, right? We walk into our local Goodwill. The first thing we're looking at is the buy cost. We go to the shoe section, right? We're looking at the buy cost. We want to keep our buy cost $10 or under for used shoes. So we go over to the shoe section and we find a pair of shoes for $7. Awesome. Next thing we are doing is we are looking at the brand of the shoe. We want to source quality brands only. So by quality brands, there are a ton. I think I've sold probably 70 or more. I actually wrote down a list one day of like brands that I could think off the top of my head of what I've sold. And I think it came out to about maybe 60 or 70 plus brands that I've sold over these past 2 years. To get to know quality brands, it just takes time. When I first started sourcing, I only really knew about, Nike, Adidas, Puma, Under Armour, kind of that. But as time went on, you get used to things. You start picking up more shoes. You start, experimenting with shoes, and you just kind of start to get to know brands more. So it may not be something that's like right in the beginning. Now I just went 2 weeks ago and I sourced 100 pairs of shoes on St. Patrick's Day. When I first started, there's no way I would have been able to source 100 pairs of shoes because there's just no way that I would have known that many brands, right? So getting to know brands just takes some time. If you go to my Instagram page, I actually have a ton of posts that have, the shoe that I sold, how much I bought it for, and how much I sold it for, and then I will have the name, the name of the shoe written under there. That's a helpful tool. You can reach out to me if you want to. You can look up on Google, good shoe brands or whatever. But just assuming that, you know, let's just say, you know, that Brooks is a good brand. So you pick up these pair of Brooks, right? It's a good brand. Brooks is a great, awesome brand. It sells really well for me. It sells really quick too. That's the second thing. So we have our buy cost. We have the shoe at $7. It's at $10 or under. This shoe is $7. Perfect, within our budget. And it's a quality brand. It's Brooks. Awesome brand. The third thing we want to do, which is a little bit tougher, is we are going to look at the condition of the shoe. Now we want to make sure that we're sourcing quality shoes that are in really good condition. The first thing that I do when I pick up a pair of shoes that I know that I want is I turn them over and I look at the tread. It's the first thing I'm looking at. If the tread's blown out, if there's no tread, if there's heel drag or whatever it is, I'm putting them back. I'm not even gonna look at the rest of the shoe. So I like to turn them over, look at the tread first, right? You wanna make sure that there's no heel drag right here. A lot of times runners are just the way that people walk, you know, they drag their feet and there will be a lot of heel drag. We don't want that. A lot of times what I notice too with running shoes, there's a lot of wear right here. Like I said, don't want that. We want to see a good, like, kind of ridge. Like, you'll see at the bottom here, there's a lot of ridges, right? It's like so awkward. I don't know how to hold the shoes up to the camera yet. But we want to make sure that there's really good ridges. There's no heel drag. It's not smooth. You know, you're not going to put them on and you're going to walk outside and you're going to go flying because there's just no tread left, right? We don't want that. So as long as the tread looks good, really good condition, especially up here too. Now we're gonna flip the shoes back over and we want to look at the body of the shoe. So what I'm looking for first is I'm looking just kind of like an overall view. I'm looking to see if there's any rips anywhere. Sometimes there's like holes right here. We don't want that. We don't want any rips. We don't want any tears. You know, we're looking here, looking all over, scanning the shoe, no rips, no tears, no nothing like that. Awesome. Now, this kind of gets skipped over sometimes, especially when you're first starting out. You want to look at the toe box. Toe box is very important because a lot of times if you kind of bend it in like that, it might be separated. Toe box sometimes gets separated right here, and we do not want that. If there's any separation, I'm pretty picky when it comes to sourcing. If there's any separation at all, even like the tip right here sometimes will be like a little bit separated. I'll put them back. I won't buy them because then you have to put it in the description that, oh, there's like small separation in the toe box. It's too much. But you know, to each their own. Some people will source shoes like that. It's just not my style. So we're looking at the toe box, making sure there's no separation. And we want to make sure, it's gonna get awkward because I don't know how to hold it in front of the camera yet. But you basically want to take the body of the shoe, you want to put your hand over the body of the shoe, and you want to kind of squeeze it in like such. And you want to make sure that there is no separation right here. A lot of times right here, there will be separation and you won't know that unless you kind of squeeze it like that. In here too. Right up in here, I notice a lot of times with Brooks and Asics and Saucony, that there is a lot of separation here sometimes. So you really want to make sure that you're squeezing that in and that there's no separation anywhere along here, along here. Going towards the inside of the shoe, we want to make sure again that there is no rips anywhere here, that there's no rips right here. A lot of times I will see that too. And it's kind of funny because I don't really know, like sometimes I'll just see shoes that just have huge rips right here. And I don't know how they get there because there's no wear right here. Like I could see how rips can get in here, but not here, but I don't know. But anyways, yeah, a lot of times you'll see big rips right here. If you see a rip there, we don't want it, put it back, right? You want to look inside here. You want to kind of open up the tongue a little bit, right? You want to make sure that there's no rips anywhere. In here, back in the heel, you want to like really look in there, make sure that there's no rips in there. On the inside of the shoe, also you want to make sure, I mentioned this in yesterday's video, this pair actually specifically, you want to make sure it has the original insoles. A lot of time with running shoes, especially Brooks, people will take out the insoles. So people will take out the original insole and put in their own insole. Like, you know, some people use Dr. Scholl's or something like that. But in yesterday's video, I actually pointed out that this pair specifically, I took them out, but they actually had different insoles in here. They had, I think a Bayo, I think it's called, I don't know, but they had those kind of insoles. And if you just lifted them up, the insole was actually still in here. So the person just kind of put the replacement on top of here. But sometimes people will take out the original insole completely. So sometimes, you know, sometimes I will source, if it's a great shoe like this, it's in awesome condition, there's nothing wrong with it, but like, let's just say there's no insole, I would probably still pick these up, only because, you know, like I said, a lot of times runners, they replace the insoles anyways. But I guess just for the purposes of this video, we want to stick to shoes that have all of their components, all their parts to them. One other thing is with laces. So you can replace laces easily, right? Like on a pair of Vans especially. You know, Vans or Converse, you can find white laces anywhere. But when you're just kind of starting out, you don't want to get the, you know, shoes that don't have any laces at all. Or maybe the laces are just completely like ripped up and trash. You can clean laces. So I would definitely pick up shoes that, you know, maybe the laces are kind of dirty, because you can definitely clean them. Just put a little bit of OxyClean and a little bit of dish soap. Just, you know, put it in a like a water bottle or something, mix it around, and you can clean that. But as a beginner, I would definitely stick to shoes that have, you know, really good laces already. No laces that are ripped up, only because if you buy a pair of shoes, so if these had no laces, these are $7, you have to go to the store and you have to buy another pair of laces. You know, they're only $2 or something. You know, you can get a bunch of them off eBay or Amazon, but it's just going to eat into your cost even more, right? And like I said, when you're just starting out, you want to keep your buy cost as low as possible, because you want to, you know, keep reinvesting your money. You don't want to have, you know, a lot of your money tied up, you know, up front. But anyways, so, you know, as long as you kind of have all of those things, you know, just to review real quick, we're buying a pair of used shoes. We want to look for shoes that are $10 or under, preferably less than $10, but, you know, around 5 or below. But we're keeping our buy cost $10 or under. We're making sure that the brand is quality, that it's a good brand, right? We want to make sure that the condition of the shoe, that there are no rips anywhere, there are no tears, there is no separation, right? That kind of test. A lot of times too, actually with Vans and Converse, you'll see that problem when you go like right here. For whatever reason, Vans and Converse kind of have a little issue right here on these sides, that they're separated. So it's especially important to look for separation when you're looking at Vans and Converse. You want to make sure that the tread is really good. You want to make sure that the insoles are original. You want to make sure that the laces are good to go, right? That there's no rips up here. There's no separation in the toe box, and you should be good to go. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but like I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but sourcing quality shoes is 75%. In my opinion, I think of, you know, kind of like the shoe reselling game, I guess. And the other 25% is, you know, taking good quality pictures, pricing accordingly, having a good description. You know, because you can have an awesome shoe like this, but if you only take one picture like this, and you only have one picture and the description says, you know, whatever, you know, if your description is Brooks GTS 17, women's size 10, and there's absolutely like no description, it's going to be harder for you to move these. Granted, you have a quality shoe, so, you know, maybe somebody will recognize them and, you know, recognize it's a quality shoe and buy it. But if you have a poor listing, you know, title, poor pictures, you know, not good lighting, no description, anything like that, then, yeah, it's going to be harder to sell. So you kind of need all those components, but for the purposes of this video, you know, we're talking about quality sourcing. So I really hope that you guys learned something. I hope to put out another video in the future, kind of like an updated one, you know, once I kind of get my YouTube video editing skills up to par, I guess you could say, because I have no idea how to edit videos whatsoever at all. So I'm hoping, you know, maybe I'll put out like a revised video or something, where I can talk about quality sourcing a little bit more in depth and maybe, you know, do some comparisons of what to buy versus maybe what not to buy. But yeah, so I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you got something from it. If you did, you know, please subscribe. Give this video a like. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Or you can hit me up on Instagram. My username is @Resell. I love talking with you guys. So yeah, so thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed.